We want you to know that when you know what you don't want, and therefore you send off a rocket of desire about what you do want, that larger part of you, your inner being, receives with clarity your asking and stands in full awareness of that asking and becomes a full vibrational harmonic component to that asking. When you ask, it is given, and that's how you ask, and the inner being part of you embraces it and becomes it, and then offers a vibration to you about it, which you must receive. That's the reason that we're here talking with you today, is because you've got to get into that receiving mode. You have to get into that receiving mode so that once you've launched the rocket, you can become a vibrational match to its current state of being. And many of you want to say, well, its current state of being is not that satisfying, because its current state of being is still in the state of becoming. And we say, well, really, it's you that's in the state of becoming. It's you getting ready for it. It's ready. Once you launched it, it joined with other things that you want, and it became a broadcasting beam that you could translate into reality right now if you were ready. And we don't want you to feel uncomfortable about not being ready. How are you doing with this conversation? The reason we ask is because you like manifestations. And we're not talking about those full-blown manifestations. We're talking about awarenesses and hunches and instincts and impulses. We're talking about ideas. We're talking about you enjoying your evolution of perspective. Did you think this world is this tangible, real, knock on wood, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it world? But it only is that because of your ability to perceive it. And if we can get you to just start enjoying your earlier perceptions so that you don't need the full manifestation to be satisfied, well, then you're off and running. Then more things are going to be manifesting in your experience all the time, and the people who know you will be quite amazed at how they just barely heard you begin speaking about something, and now there it is in your experience being enjoyed by you. But they will also notice how much less edgy you are, and how much more happy you are, and how much more alert you are, and refreshed you are, and vital you are, and receptive you are, and how much better your timing is, and how in the right place at the right time you are, and how your coordinating with other people is so improved, and how in love with life you are. In other words, when you begin to activate all of those receptors so that you're on the same wavelength as your inner being, then life gets really good for you, because your inner being, that's us, your inner beings, your inner being knows where you stand in terms of your physical allowance of the manifestation, knows where you stand in your physical body, in your physical human personality that you know as you. Your inner being knows where you stand in relationship to everything you've been asking for. Your inner being knows how ready you are, which another way of saying that is, your inner being knows how much resistance you've got on that point and that point and that point and that point and that point. Some subjects you have little or no resistance, so you just move joyfully along and good things keep happening on that subject. Some things you have a lot of resistance, so you just trip over them and trip over them and trip over them till you don't even like them. Simple things like, so Esther gave a piece of her luggage away to a friend, and then she ordered a new piece like it for herself, but the new piece like it had been discontinued. If I'd known that. Hello, friend, can you give that back to me? So Esther ordered a new piece of luggage. Well, she's decided with some experience that it might not have been a real new piece of Tumi luggage, because the wheel came off right away. Now that doesn't happen with Tumi. And then the zipper broke. Just weird things began happening. So repair. So yesterday morning, she's getting ready to zip up her bag. Everything's in it, carefully packed. And she went to zip her bag, and the zipper came right off in her hand. Now there was a zipper that would come around the other way, but she thought, that may not be trustworthy. And when the airline gets my bag and they paw through it as they like to do, can you feel Esther's resistance in the words that we are repeating of hers? When the delightful airline people paw through my bag, they might not get it zipped back up, and I may end up with my panties on the conveyor belt. So Esther thought wisely, I must do something about this. I must do something about this because my ride leaves in 5 minutes. So she opened her big bag and she plopped up on the table next to it a smaller bag, a much smaller bag. And now she's saying, don't need that, need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. It was amazing how much was in her bag that she'd been dragging around for years that she really doesn't need. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, need that, don't need that, don't need that. And in 5 minutes, she had prepared her new bag, zipped it up. Oh, so light. Not 49.9 pounds like the usual bag I drag around. So she went to the airport, checked her bag, and got on the airplane. And when she got to the baggage claim here, when her bag came around and she went to pick it up, the handle came right off in her hand. Now this is a new bag, and it had been bolted on both sides of this handle where her tag was, and the screws were just stripped. It had gotten caught in some mechanism somewhere. And Esther thought, I may need a new vibrational plan. Because when things are manifesting, you know that they are, well, you know if you know about law of attraction, because you get what you think about. Now it was easy for Esther to know what she'd been thinking about. She'd been thinking about bags falling apart, feeling not satisfied about bags falling apart. Now you want to ask, but Abraham, how could someone do other than notice what's going on? We know that's how you get yourself into these jams, and that's how you justify staying in them. Because you observe what is, and you talk about what is, and you feel about what is, and you often do not do anything about diluting the experience of what is with more of what you want. Now on most other subjects, Esther is diluting constantly with what she wants. In other words, she's flooding more pure positive energy in on top of everything. But she's got this thing with Delta. She got on the plane in Asheville 2 hours late and missed her connection in Atlanta last weekend, and then hung around for 4 hours in the Atlanta airport. This is not perfect creation. This is responding to Delta. Happened last year too. The year before. One time, a bunch of them went to get on the Delta airplane. They wouldn't let any of them on because they were that much beyond the time frame to check their luggage, and so they rented a van and drove to Atlanta together. There's history. There's vibrational history that's fact-based. It's fact-based, and it's real, and it's justified, and it keeps on giving.